And welcome to CS101, Day 8, January 25th. What I want you to look at today, and we're going to zoom in a little bit more here, is we're going to be basically doing a research paper. I'm going to be providing you some time-saving text, so you don't have to type all of that stuff, because I want you to learn the formatting part of it, not so much the let's type things correctly. Then I'll show you where that is. But just watch here, and then we'll be doing it on your own. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be putting in things called placeholders. How many have you done MLA style placeholders in your paper so far? Section in semester 2, often people have already done this. As you do MLA papers, you may find citations and references. How many have done references in papers already? Is that works cited and things? What do you do? Are you doing footnotes instead as you come along and do a citation? Any particular style that your teacher?
Just cite everything you get in the paper, just like all in one big group.
And then, but suppose you cite a quote from someone. Do you just down below say, hey, here's the things that were cited here by the quote? Do you put any note or anything saying who
I
it's?
just put like a little, like a parentheses or parenthetical that just kind of highlights what it is, and then I just have the actual reference.
Okay, so the parenthetical reference has like the author's last name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's what we're going to show. Letting Word do this for you. This can be a huge time saver for you if you use it right. Let me show you how it's done. Suppose I'm talking along about something very interesting, blah blah blah, and then I have a parenthetical. I want to put in a parenthetical reference to that works cited. Watch what you can do in Word to help automate this whole process. I can go to the References tab. You don't have to do that for now. You can watch. And we're going to insert a citation. And I can add a placeholder or add a new source. Let's add the placeholder. We'll do it the way the book does it. We'll add a placeholder and say that the author is Smith. And I can click OK. There's a reference to Smith placed in my paper. And then I can continue on. So rather than just typing in parentheses, it's actually a Word managed placeholder. Now if I realize, okay, I'm coming to the end of my paper and I want to put in the details for Smith, I can come back to that placeholder, click on the little arrow that says Edit Source Now. And now I can put in the information related to that particular source. Perhaps it were a journal article, and I could put the name of the author, Joe Smith, and the title was Working with Metal. And the journal name, Metals, how about this? Heavy Metals. And year 1989 when heavy metal was big time, and pages 50 to 90. Now I click OK, and I can say, wait a minute, I don't really want the whole year. I can come back to here and edit citation and tell it I don't need to see the year. I'm going to suppress the year. All I want to see is the author. My placeholder is still back to the way it was. Now this is all fine, and I can continue on with my very interesting paper. And I get to the end, and I want to insert the works cited. Well, rather than having to type that up, I can tell Word, insert a bibliography where I'm at. So I'm still on the references page. You'd think it would be insert, but no. If I'm on the references, bibliography, and now I can click Works Cited, and Word puts in Works Cited automatically for me. Look at that. Isn't that cool? But then I realized, wait a minute, my Works Cited is in APA format instead of MLA. I could just come over to Word and say, on the References tab, oh, put it in MLA Style, 7th edition, according to how Microsoft understands MLA Style, and it automatically updates my works cited to match that style. Now, even though Microsoft says this is MLA Style 7th edition, your instructor may actually, although they may call it MLA, their version of MLA may look more similar to Turabian edition, 6th edition. So it's up to you to confirm one of these. I've heard that some of the teachers here are closer to Chicago edition than MLA. Here's another thing you can do. If none of the styles that Microsoft has built in match your instructor's specific version of MLA, what you can do over here is click on this and you can convert this to a regular text. And is that, I forget where that hides now. Is that under here? No. So right click. There's a way to convert this to just regular text that you can edit it. And where did that go? Is that up here? Oh, I forget where that converts. If I right click there. No. Somewhere here we're going to find out we can actually convert this to regular text and then just treat it like regular text in the book. And I don't remember how that's done. Right click. I thought the right clicks would do it. We'll find that out in the book. I forget how. We can convert this something. We can just edit it. Let's see if I start typing. I actually can type in there and edit that section, but the problem is if ever I update it, I believe it will throw away any of my edits. Let's see if I try that. Let's say I put in something here and then update it. Yeah, it takes away my changes. So in order to actually be able to edit this, I have to somehow convert this to just regular editable text, which I thought was hiding under here. Oh, there it is, right there. Convert bibliography to static text. This lets me now edit it, and it won't go away if I make the edits. So I'll put changes. And now if I update it, I don't think my changes will get wiped out like they did at first. But I think now if I try to change the style, it won't change it either. So that's the wonderful thing about references if you use it with Microsoft Word. Now, here's another cool thing you can do with Microsoft Word. Say you're writing a paper and you come up to some sources. You can come up here to Manage Sources. You can actually, as you're reading, add a bunch of sources that you may use in many papers. And you can bring in your sources from other papers if you're logged in as the same user. Or if you just save the sources in a particular document, you can actually bring in the sources that you use in another paper of yours. So this is remembering other sources I've used as I've used Word logged in as A.T. Manning. So your problem is if you're logged in as a student on another computer, your Microsoft Word may not remember the same sources. But if you keep track in one document all your sources as you read, you can, if you have that document open, transfer the sources into your new paper. So this all is only useful if you find Microsoft Word's managing of references and the automatic generating works cited. If that will save you a lot of time, especially if you're like Dr. McLeod, have 50,000 sources for your paper, that may be very handy for you. If you just have a few sources, this may not save you a lot of time, but as you develop your writing and doing research, this can be very useful. And there are actually people who will actually sell you libraries of works cited that you don't have to spend all that time meticulously going through getting the works cited exactly right, as long as you can just let Microsoft Word generate it. And remember, if your teacher agrees with the particular format of works cited that Microsoft generated for you. One other thing that is handy, when you go to different websites, I'll bring up a website here. Say I go to Wikipedia, I'll bring up a new tab. If I go to Wikipedia and do some research on acid or some other thing, often Wikipedia will have at the bottom the works cited, the citation to this particular article. This particular one doesn't have one, but occasionally some articles. Let's look at an article. How about, let's do a search on George Washington. Often you will have bibliographic reference shown to you somewhere, making it easier for you to cite this document. Oh, this page, oh, this one didn't have it. So you'll find more of the researchy type articles in Wikipedia or other sites like this. Often they'll hide a little box towards the bottom, cite this article, and they'll give you all the information you would need if you're putting that in your paper. One more thing I want to show you here is for your document here. We go over to our homework. In the WD2 homework, just as I was looking through it, realizing, this part of the homework isn't that important for you to have to do all on your own. And as you go through the book, it has you type in a lot of text. Well, to save you a little time, I have created a cloud document here in the link there. If you look at the homework description, this cloud document takes you to a page that has all the text that you can just copy paste in, and you'll still have to format it and put in double-spaced lines, but this saves you all that typing time. I think there are spelling errors in there as well. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're corrected, because I took it from a previous paper. So they may have the spelling errors corrected, but they do have some parenthetical references that you're going to have to replace with the actual word parenthetical reference. But save you a little bit of typing time. Any questions about any of the previous homeworks? You good with that? And let's take a quick look here at the schedule. I think I want to give you fair warning. Let's see, when is there a quiz coming up? Planning on having a quiz over the Word projects before CMS. And that's going to be a closed book quiz over a lot of material that is already in the e-quizzes primarily, but there may be some extra things. So be sure to do your e-quizzes. Remember, you can do those together with open book multiple times, get the best score to study. And then in that quiz one planned coming up in February, actually I'm going to have to disappoint you. I'm not going to be here that 5th of February. I might have to move that up a day so you can have it done with before CMS, before we get into PowerPoint. So I may move that quiz up to this day just because I realize I'm going to be heading off to Colorado on the 5th. So it's coming up shortly, and we'll be getting into, let's get into this WD2 project and maybe even get done sooner than expected. Alright, so let me bring up the page that's showing what we're going to be doing here. Getting a research paper going, MLA Style, and they're starting a paper with this at the top. Eventually it's going to look like they show you the looks in the start of the book. It's going to look like this eventually. First page with the MLA header, page numbers, and etc. And in the book here, they get started putting in page numbers first and playing with some normal, the normal document style. So before we even start typing all that text, let's go back to our document. I'm going to erase all of this. Control A and delete will erase everything in the paper. Remember, the Control A selects everything. Before we go any further, we're going to follow the book in doing a few settings here. After they go through changing the display of the page, turning on formatting marks, but then before doing any typing, they're going to modify the normal style by going over to the Home tab, selecting Normal in the Style section, and then we're going to click Modify. What this does is, anytime you tell something to be style normal, it will set it to be this style defined in the normal style. And now we can make changes to it to follow exactly how the book wants to use it, the normal style. We're going to change our font size to 12 and Times New Roman. Some people are very, very fussy on what exact font you use, and rather than later on find that, oh, we messed up, you could do a Control-A and change the font to everything, but let's just change it at the start. So we go change our font to Times New Roman. I could just start typing T, or I could slide down to the T's and find Times New Roman right there, and set the font size to be 12. Now, because other people may be using this computer, and because you may not want this on all your documents, make sure that this is set to be only in this document. If you change this one, from now on everyone that uses Word logged in as the same user, they'll have their format, their normal format, become Times New Roman 12. So be nice and only set it to be in this document. And then now when I click OK, anything that's normal style, see how Times New Roman is now set up there. And
wait, where under home is that from?
right over here in the style section,
Oh.
and then right click, modify. And what you're doing is modifying the style called normal. You could actually give it a new name and call it New Normal, or George's Normal, or cs101 Normal, but let's leave the name the same. They are also deciding to change the line and paragraph spacing, and then we're also going to apply that to the normal. See how that works. So I come back to that paragraph. Before I type anything, I tell it, okay, now when I start this paragraph, let's set its spacing to be double spaced, because that's the MLA style, double spaced. And let's add, let's see, is remove space after paragraph? We're changing the line spacing. Where do they remove the, okay, that's the line spacing, and there we go. Remove space after paragraph. So we go back again, and again in line spacing, make sure we also have, oh, I've already done that here. See, if I have added, then the next time I come, it has remove space before a paragraph, right? We're remove spacing, oh, sorry, remove spacing after paragraph. There we go, remove space after paragraph. That has the paragraphs a little closer together to match the MLA style, so the paragraph has even spacing. Okay? Now here's something that they want us to do is, now that we've changed that, we want to make that the normal style. So rather than doing a modify, I've already made changes to this particular paragraph by going right click, update normal to match selection. That's telling it, make the normal style match what I've just changed in this paragraph. Update normal to match selection. So they're showing you two ways you can modify it. You can change the paragraph you're in to be a particular font and size and spacing, and then do, okay, make that be the normal. Now if I go back and modify, I should see normal, and let's see, down here in the formatting, I can see that my paragraph line spacing has that particular style applied to it. See how it has the double line spacing. But it all happened just by me making the changes to one paragraph and then say update normal to match selection. That's what that means. Change this paragraph, make normal be just like this paragraph. Now we can put the header in, and then you can copy paste that rest of that text. We want page numberings. That's in the header. Now they show you how I can go insert and add a header. Here's an easier way to add the header. I just go to the top of the page and double click, and it puts me in the header, and now I can edit that while I'm there. So I could do insert header or just double click on the top. Coming back to the regular normal section of the paper, double clicking there, it takes me back to the normal text area. And I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see that. Double click at the top, and now we want to do some page numbering, and so now we go to the insert tab, page numbering of a particular style. We're just going to do the edit header, and that's done by just double clicking on it. And now when we're there, we're going to edit it and right align the paragraph and put in a page number using our insert bar. To right align, remember how we right align while I'm editing here? Home tab, right align right there, or Control R, shortcut key shows up. And now I'm going to insert a page number. Insert. And where's my numbers? Here's page numbers. And it's going to be at the top of the page, and I choose a particular page number of this, I think. Yeah. And there's my page number. But in front of the page number, they want the name of the author. So I'm just going to go to the left of that page number and type in Bailey and a space. So I could type in Bailey and then page number, or page number and then to the left of it put Bailey. That's the MLA style for page numbering. And they'd say you can close header, or you could just double click back in the normal text. It does the same thing as close header. Double clicking in header edits the header, and then close it there, or just come back here, double click. I find that a little more intuitive. Now we're ready to put in our MLA research paper, and this is where we put in on separate lines this text. That's not text I gave you because I want you to do some work there. So I'll bring this down below. Oops. You shrink this window a little bit, and then you can see both. Here's the text we're going to type. Oops. And here's my document. See how it's doing the double space because I told it.
Instead of putting the information they have, can we put like what we'd actually put? So Jared Garrett.
Yeah, if you want to put your own name there, that's fine. Yep.
cs101.
Yeah, you could put cs101. To put today's date, let's see if control semicolon in another program automatically puts today's date. Actually, well, I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the date given. Because often when I write the paper, I don't want it automatically updated. So we have an MLA style header, and now we're ready to see. Let's see if they put a blank line after that. Yes, they do it. Insertion point, and then do they start typing right away? I don't remember now if they put in a header. There we go. We do put in a title called Access Granted, and then we start our paragraph. In the book, then, they give you a little table of shortcut keys. These are things that they do have on the e-quizzes, and you're welcome when you do that. Just have this table open to you, and as you use Word more and more, you will get used to using certain shortcut keys, like if you're often going to italic, the Control I. I don't underline that much, so I don't have Control U memorized. But bolding and italicizing, it's common enough where I've memorized Control I, Control V. But as you use Word, I would say, as you do something more and more, and Word is generally helpful, you come hover over things, it gives you a reminder of what that shortcut key is. So after a while, you'll get tired. Why do I have to keep sliding up here? Oh yeah, the shortcut key keeps me from having to use my mouse so much. That's just something that will come naturally. To center this, they show you a little shortcut. See how that cursor changes as I go left and right? When I'm in the center and I see that centering icon right below my cursor, if I just double click there, automatically this line becomes centered. And I can type the title. And I can go to the next line and double click, and it becomes a new line, left align. At this point, they want to start setting your paragraph indentation. But a handy way to do it is to have the rulers displayed. But right now, I'm not seeing rulers. That's over on the View tab. I can turn on Show Me Rulers. And now rulers appear, and whatever your paragraph you're in, it will show you your settings for that paragraph on this nice little ruler. And this first little triangle at the top is what they call the first line indent. We're going to drag that in 1/2 inch and then start typing our text, which I have given to you over here. So I'm going to go grab it from the homework description now, if I can find it. Where did it go? Here it is. Copy. Come back over to Word. And oh, I wanted to go half the screen. Go in the wrong place. This time I'm going to paste the text. Be careful when you paste text. Do it text only. Don't keep source formatting. When I right click paste, I want to paste keep text only. Then it will remember my settings and work much better for you. If I just did a regular paste, Control V, it'll come in this way and see it's messed up all my spacing. I want it to come in as though I typed it. So when I paste, keep text only, and look how much better it is. It remembers the font I'm using rather than wiping out the font based on the page it came from. Very handy when you're using websites or other electronic and you want to copy paste. Whenever you do a paste or right click paste text only will often save you lots of headaches. Now I've got to reformat everything because I pasted it and it messed up my formatting. So this saved you a lot of time in typing. I figured I would be nice to you. Since you're learning I want you to concentrate on learning about citations and things. Now Ms. I guess has a period after it. So I see a red squiggly under that reminding me might have a spelling problem there. Yep, it's happy with the period. So watch out for any red squigglies. We are going to fix these parenthetical references to have them become Microsoft parenthetical references. So we've got you quite a bit down the road here. And they explain in the book, here, what page are we on? It's covering up my page number in the recording. Page number 83, it's showing you how to adjust your first line indents. Yes?
What assignment is this?
This is WD2. WD2.
And then Control V.
Now I haven't done any saving yet, so since I've done a lot of work so far, I'm going to do a Control S, and since it's the first time I've saved it, it's going to ask me where to put it. And I don't want to put it in my OneDrive. I'm going to put it over here in my cs101. I'm going to leave Teddy Bailey document as the title, but I'm going to put in front of that Manning WD2. Yeah.
There's this little reference here. Do we worry about that? Actually citing that?
We're going to replace it with an actual formatted one. Since we copied and pasted that text, that is sitting there just as a parenthesis, just plain text. We're going to come back and fix and change that. So this is what I've got after I pasted. Remember, when you paste, right click, paste text only. Always do that. If you've spent the time to set it as Times New Roman, double spaced, and paragraph, all that special stuff. Now we're going to catch up here. Make sure we've got our first line indent. One thing too, if I do a Control A, this little first line indent isn't the same on all those lines, so it's kind of grayed out. If I change this, I'm going to be changing it here too, so I don't want to do that. If I only want to change my first line indent on a set of paragraphs like this one and below, I have to select through them, and then I can adjust the first line indent on all of them at once. It will affect all of them.
On yours, is it supposed to be a double space between paragraphs?
I thought we removed the space after paragraph. So I might have, let's go here and let's look here at my paragraph. Let's go to, it does show that they're not there. It's like it has an extra line here. By turning on formatting marks, I can see it actually does have an extra line there.
Okay.
So when I pasted, that cloud document actually has this extra line in there, and that's where the turning on formatting marks is often helpful. You can say, oh, I actually had an extra line. I can just backspace that line and get rid of those extra lines. See, without seeing formatting marks, I might be fooled that, oh, I suddenly have that extra paragraph spacing, and really the pasting actually added extra lines. And that's something that when you do copy paste from other pages, they may have a little extra characters in there that you didn't realize. So that Google document, when I pasted into the Google document, it happened to add that extra page, even though when I view the document online, it doesn't look like it had those extra pages in it. See, it looks like they're all run together, but copying and pasting did add that extra line. So manually removing them. And now let's go back to what's left to do here. After putting in all that text, saving you lots of time, they talk about auto-correcting as you go. And they mention how you can put in your own autocorrect entries. You can be dangerous with autocorrect, or you can fix autocorrect. Like, let's say I'm typing Emmaus. I'm not sure it knows the word Emmaus. I'll just go to the end here and start typing a new paragraph, and I'll type Emmaus. Oh, it recognizes Emmaus because I've done this before. Suppose I commonly forget to put the double M in Emmaus. And I say, wait a minute, that is a different place. I want to talk about that. Or I want to autocorrect it to the word correct spelling of Emmaus. Watch what I can do. I can right-click on that word and go to my dictionary or my autocorrect. Oh, I thought the autocorrect would show up here. Let's see here. I want to fix my autocorrection. Here's a way I can go there. It's the harder way. I can go to File, Options, and under Proofing, I can get to my autocorrect options and add the word. When I type Emmaus with one M, I can have it correct automatically to Emmaus with 2 M's and add it to my autocorrect dictionary. Okay? And then I can close this. Let me do that again. Underneath File, Options, Proofing, autocorrect options, I can change the word the to be autocorrected to this is silly and add that to the autocorrect dictionary. And then close it and close it. And now the Great. Oh man. Every time I type the, it gets changed to a different word. If I don't want that correction to happen, see that little line will appear under there, and I can say, wait a minute, change it back to what I typed, or let's go back to the autocorrect options and remove that from that list that someone pranked me and change the word the to say this is silly. So if you ever see strange things happening on the keyboard, or you want to make a correction, you can always go back through your little autocorrect dictionary, and there is the entry for replacing the with this is silly, and delete that silly entry. Of course, you would never do this to someone on their computer using Microsoft Word. In case someone does this to you, now you know how to fix that. Or more importantly, if there's a common word that you type it's constantly underlining in red, or you have a regular problem spelling MAS, it will automatically fix it for you. See, if I spell with one M, now that it's in autocorrect, it automatically corrects it to MAS. Well, we'll get rid of that extra line. That was an example. You can review that on page 86. So they spend a few pages explaining the autocorrect. Now we're going to be adjusting or actually putting in a real citation. They actually change the style before they do the citation. The actual order you do it doesn't really matter. But let's go to that first citation, which one was it? Where were they in the text? Was it the Rossi one? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to where that is and edit that source. Here's this one. So we're going to delete that text and actually make that into a citation. So backspace, and now references, insert citation. And they're going to, I think this one they do the placeholder and then come back and edit it. So Rossi. So it's going to look the same as what was typed there before and then appeared in space. But now it's a special entry in Words. When I come back and click on it, now instead of showing highlighted like normal text, it's a source that I can edit. So they insert a citation. Oh, they actually did the add new source. But the way to get add new source is the same thing. It basically takes you to here, enter it, and then edit the source. Takes you right here. So you can put the placeholder and then come back and edit it, or you can just add a new source right there. And the information they give you is right there. Digital Security Review, Rossi, Marcel. That's the information that they want you to put there. So Rossi, Marcel, Marcel is the author. Understanding how to use fingerprint readers is the title. Digital Security Review is the journal name. Oh, let's make sure. It's a journal article. No, it's article and periodical. I better pick article and periodical because the suggested entries here change a little bit depending on what type of source. So make sure it's an article and periodical. Then it gives the correct general items that should be there. I'm not sure if they're strictly mandatory or strongly suggested. 2014 is the year, August. Digital Security Review. Year is 2014. Month is August. And I think they just shorten the month. End page as the number of pages. And web. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Press tab twice.
There you go. So get to number of pages.
How many pages? I can't see how many pages it's saying.
They just say N pages.
Okay.
They say type N, oh sorry, N dot page, P-A-G dot. I don't like abbreviations that much. And then tab key and press web as the medium. I don't see the medium, but if I hit tab, I know I can show all bibliography fields. Do they have us show them all? Why am I not seeing web as the medium, even though article in a periodical is up there? Is this different in 2016? Are we seeing a...
I don't see it either.
Oh, look at that, Chicago style. Let's see if that made a difference if I go MLA, then go back to edit source. Look at that. When in Chicago style, which I had accidentally left selected, it doesn't expect the medium to be there. But in MLA style, the medium is expected as a entry. This little check mark here is handy if you have other information about your article that may be helpful. Clicking on this will show you all possible fields available for any entry, and see some are starred and some are plain. If you do have a edition or volume and you want to show that, you can turn on all bibliography fields just in case it's helpful extra information. Without that checked, it shows you what it expects for a particular style to be in that periodical. I did not realize that Chicago would change whether or not medium showed up as a required field in the bibliography. So that shows you why what you have selected here is important. Yeah.
We could also just done this on MLA and just hit show all bibliography.
Right. Yeah. You could have just said, whatever style I'm using. If I know that they want medium, I could turn on show all, and then come over here and fill it in. And in Chicago, that would not have a red star by it. So you have.
So did we? I can't see it. Is ours MLA? Then?
Yeah, ours is MLA. And I forgot. Remember how I was messing with how a different style made it look. I forgot to set it back to MLA, not realizing that that would affect what shows up in the edit source page. So now Rossi is fixed, and now that will show up once we get to insert works cited. But we'll stop there because we're almost done with it. All we're going to do next time, we'll be editing this to make it the complete source as managed by my Word, and then we'll come back to the end and enter works cited. But I will save this here so we can review this a little bit, because that's the newer concept that a lot of people don't use. People that do a lot of papers with reference, I can see this being very handy. I've talked with our English professors. They don't push this a whole lot because they want you to do a lot of work knowing how to do your own citations properly and learn the discipline of doing works cited. Some of our Bible guys, they spent hours and hours writing papers when they were at Dallas, and they want to have you go through the same suffering they did. So it is a good disciplinary thing to know how to manage sources, but because it's done so regularly in research, Microsoft added this, I think about back in Office 2010, this whole way of doing references with bibliographies. Other programs that we'll talk about, like Google Docs, I think is trying to do this. It's not nearly as friendly as Microsoft in handling references. So, have a great day. We will finish this recording.